Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something absolutely fascinating, the gap between what we think our cats are communicating to us and what they actually mean. If you share your home with a feline friend, you already know they have a language entirely their own. But today, we're going to really look at the science and observation behind the behavior. We're going to focus heavily on a sound we all think we understand completely, the purr. Honestly, by the end of this, you are going to look at your cat in a completely new way.
Okay, we've literally all been there, right? You're petting your cat, they're purring super loudly, everything seems absolutely perfect, and then, bam! Out of nowhere, you get a quick nip. You're just left sitting there, pulling your hand back, totally confused. I mean, a second ago, she seemed so incredibly happy. So what exactly went wrong there? Why would a cat who is actively purring and seemingly enjoying a cuddle session suddenly decide to bite you?
Listen, if this just happened to you, the absolute most crucial thing to do right now is just release that anxiety. You are not a bad cat parent. You didn't necessarily do anything wrong, and your cat is absolutely not broken or unusually aggressive. This is actually one of the most common and completely normal things a cat can do. The guilt that so many of us feel afterward, that instant replay of, oh, maybe I touched the wrong spot or maybe I pet them for too long, it's usually totally disproportionate to what actually happened. Your cat simply communicated a boundary.
Let's move into part 1, the purr paradox. Let's kick things off with the biggest myth out there, the purr itself. This is going to completely reframe how you hear that familiar rumbling sound coming from your cat's chest. Because purring isn't just a simple happy button, it never was. It's actually a multi-purpose tool. Sure, a kitten purrs while nursing, and yeah, cats purr when they're perfectly content on your lap on a Sunday afternoon. But did you know cats also purr when they're absolutely terrified at the vet, like mid-injection? They purr while giving birth. They even purr when they're severely sick or dying. It serves a powerful self-soothing function, kind of like how a human might hum a tune or rock back and forth to calm down in a highly stressful situation.
There's even this genuinely fascinating hypothesis out there known as the healing purr theory. It basically suggests that the specific low-frequency vibration of a cat's purr, which usually sits right in that 25 to 150 hertz range, could physically help support tissue healing or even bone density. But okay, we have to be completely evidence-aware here. This is an unproven hypothesis based on frequency analysis, not a settled medical fact. There's no clinical trial that has confirmed cats actually heal faster just because they purr. It is an incredible, mind-blowing open question in feline biology, but it is exactly that, an open question.
All right, moving right along to part 2, reading the whole cat. Since we now know a purr alone is completely unreliable, we've got to learn how to read the whole cat. Think of it like reading a complete sentence, rather than just obsessing over one single word pulled totally out of context. To understand a cat's true vocabulary, you have to look at how different body parts shift together. A tail pointing upright with a gentle little curl? That shows relaxation. But a fast flicking or lashing tail? Massive warning sign. Ears that are forward-facing mean they're calm, but the moment they swivel sideways into those classic airplane ears or pin flat against the head, irritation or fear is definitely building. And the body itself? A flopped-over, loose posture is pure comfort, while a tense, hunched, or coiled body literally screams distress, regardless of whatever sound they happen to be making.
Consider this comparison. The sound is exactly the same in both scenarios. In one instance, we have a purring cat with a loose body offering you a slow blink. Now that cat is genuinely content. But in the other instance, we have a purring cat with a tucked tail, flattened ears, and a really tense body. That is a stressed cat attempting to self-soothe. Combining the exact same purr with these different body signals reveals two completely different emotional states. The purr alone was never, ever going to tell you the difference.
That brings us to part 3, the purr then bite puzzle.
So, armed with our new visual skills, let's solve that mystery we opened with. Why does that seemingly happy purr sometimes turn into a sudden bite during a petting session? Well, the bite usually isn't out of anger at all. The leading explanation is simply overstimulation. Touch that starts out feeling really good just builds past a certain threshold, the nervous system gets completely flooded, and the bite acts as an immediate release valve. It could also be that you accidentally hit a sensitive spot, like the belly or the base of the tail, where pleasant touch tips into uncomfortable touch way faster. Or it could be this oddly translated social grooming reflex, basically them treating you like a bonded feline companion. And finally, if the purr was actually self-soothing right from the start, the bite might just be all that underlying tension finally needing somewhere to go. The really good news? You can actually avoid the bite entirely. I know, sometimes it feels like they're the ones training us, right? But the secret is watching for those early warning signs before the bite actually happens, not after. Look for a tail that starts flicking, ears shifting sideways, or even just a faint ripple along the skin of their back. If you spot these, just stop petting immediately and calmly. Never ever punish them for this. Just let them settle. By stopping before their nervous system gets completely flooded, you respect their boundary and prevent the whole escalation entirely.
Let's dive into Part 4, Finding Your Cat's Normal and Play. We really need to pivot from universal cat behaviors to your specific companion, because establishing an individual baseline for your cat is absolutely everything when it comes to communication. I just love this quote from our source material. Some cats purr constantly, literally in their sleep, walking across the room, doing absolutely nothing. For them, purring is just everyday background noise. Other cats are almost entirely silent and only purr when something highly specific happens. Knowing what your unique specific cat does on a random lazy afternoon makes reading their distress signals 10 times easier. Because honestly, without knowing their normal baseline, you're just totally guessing at what counts as unusual.
Understanding that baseline also means figuring out their unique play style. Indoor cats have all this pent-up hunting energy, and giving them the right outlet can actually drastically reduce that petting-induced overstimulation we talked about earlier. So notice how your cat plays. Are they fast chasers who just go crazy for erratic wand toys? Are they batters and pouncers who want to flip and wrestle a rolling toy on the floor? Maybe they're problem solvers who love food-driven puzzle feeders. Or maybe they're interactive players where the toy matters way less than the fact that you are on the other end of it. Matching the toy to their specific style makes all the difference in the world.
And finally, Part 5, Context, Stress, and Pain. Okay, we really need to talk about the high-stakes misunderstandings. This is where the environmental context of your cat's behavior becomes absolutely critical for their health and safety. Here is a vital warning. Pain and anxiety can look almost completely identical on the outside. A tense body, flattened ears, dilated pupils, a tucked tail, or hiding while purring, all of that could mean your cat is simply terrified of a new environment. But it could also mean they are masking physical pain. Cats are incredibly, frustratingly good at hiding discomfort, and they use the exact same self-soothing behaviors for physical pain as they do for emotional fear.
So here's the absolute crucial takeaway. You have to know when to stop guessing. If you see a sudden, sustained shift from your cat's established baseline, especially if they start flinching when a specific area is touched, or if you notice changes in their appetite or litter box habits, you must consult a vet. Don't just wait it out assuming they're in a bad mood, particularly if you have a senior cat who is way more likely to mask their discomfort.
Context is especially huge when a cat enters an unfamiliar place, like a boarding facility. A new environment completely overwhelms their senses. So a cat purring on day 1 of a boarding stay is almost certainly self-soothing their stress, not expressing happiness. Usually it takes a few days of quiet observation for them to map out all the unfamiliar smells and sounds. It's often not until days 4 through 7 that true relaxation finally sets in, where you'll actually see pupils return to normal, tails rise in friendly greeting, and normal grooming behaviors finally resume.
Wow, we've really covered a lot of ground today, from debunking that whole happy button myth to learning how to read the tail, ears, and body as a complete sentence. So, the next time your cat curls up in your lap, closes their eyes, and starts that familiar rumbling, I want you to look right past the sound. Observe their whole body, look at their ears, check their tail, and confidently ask yourself, what are they truly communicating to me right now? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer and happy cat reading.